Aussie USD, we start with daily chart. Okay, first of all, as you can see, based on daily chart, the price start to drop, but as you can see, the price haven't broke this low yet. But now the question is whether this is the start of the down move or this one can turn to a correction, because we have the internal flat and relative to this for one move up. Okay, this is what we need to do, because if we want to, either we want to look for buy or sell, we need to be aware of that. And if we put this one relative to this, if we move to the indicators, based on MACD, we have a divergence. And how about the based on this? Also, we have a divergence. That's why me, this is the start of the down move. Okay, or even this one can be relative to this one move up before we get the down move. Which one? Whether this is the start of the down move, or we can expect to get one move to be the breakout of the top, because we can put this one in relative to this as the internal correction before we get the down move. But at that time, so we need to see whether we have a divergence or not. Okay, now the thing is how we can look for trade here, because we have both different options, both of the different possibility. Okay, mostly we can look for the sell, and based on forward chart, what we can expect this one to be turn to any correction similar to what we have here. If we get, still we can look for sell with but we need to know how to manage it. If it is not moving, we start to move, at least move our stop loss to break even. But one thing I have to say, based on 1 hour chart, either this one is going to be relative to this or in relative to this, because I cannot put this one in relative to this, because the way this one is correcting is simply can tell us it can drop. But what I have this one, whether this is the start of the up move because it's a reversal, because I have a sharp move correction, or is this is the one is going to drop. Okay, as I mentioned, if we get this kind of the correction, mostly we can look for one more drop, but what I have here is quite confusing. That's why still we can expect the price give us one move up before the price can drop. That's why I mentioned maybe put this one in relative to this. Simply, as we can see here, we have the move correction for move up, made this one tend to similar to what we have there before we get the down move. Okay, now I want to see how we can look for trade. If anyone wants to look for buy in case this is the start of the reversal, because if this is the start of the reversal in terms of the risk and reward, if we get any buy, it can give us really good trade setup. The only way is to have entry above this. But what they wants the price tag break and continue the price tag within 1 or 2 hours is not moving, we don't stay with the trade, because it's simply this one can tag, break the top and reverse. Okay, depends how they manage it. But if this one drop a bit more or retest this low, then we cannot look for buy. Okay, this is how we can look for buy based on what we have right now. Because if we refer to 15 minutes, still we have this, we have like 1 2 3. Okay, but this one is if drop a bit more, maybe we don't need to look for buy, because as I mentioned, this one can turn to a more complex flat before we get the down move. And if we want to look for sell, the best thing is this one turn to a more complex correction. It's like at least we get to one move up, 1 2 3, then we have a flat, then from there we look for sell either by sharp move flag or having entry below this. But how about if the price sharply reverse from here, we can have entry below this. This is the only option, we don't have any other option. Okay, but right now either we can look for buy or sell, having entry above the top or above the low. This is how we can look for the trade, but both of them is really risky unless the traders they have experience to trade it, because in 1 or 2 hours if this is not moving, we shouldn't be in the trade. But what I will suggest is that if we want to look for sell, the best thing is let this one give us one move up, at least become more, turn to a flat, then from there any trade setup we get, we take it for sell. Okay, either we're looking for buy from here, it depends on the traders, or sell by having entry in case this is a reversal. We call it a really risky trade. We are not going to trade it. The best thing is if this one give us one, at least one move up or tend to a more complex correction, then any down move from there we can look for trade, because we want to put this one in relative to this. But it doesn't mean the price sharply cannot drop from here or even move from here. But in terms how we can look for the trade. By the way, we just follow the chart. If I see any update, I will share. Thanks.